Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To everyone here who has joined us, welcome. I'm Lawrence Kong. It is my pleasure to be a moderator for the session today. Today, we are pleased to welcome Tooty Jamaludin, a speaker who will be sharing with us a presentation on gender inequality. Now, if you have been following our competitiveness series, this webinar focuses on Malaysia global competitiveness ranking in how we as a country manage the totality of our competencies to increase growth. In the World Competitiveness Yearbook 2020, this year, an annual report published by the Swiss Business School, IMD, short for International Institute for Management Development, Malaysia is being ranked against 62 other countries. Many criteria are measured to compare the different dimensions of competitiveness. Both statistical data and survey data are used in this competitiveness measurement. There are 4 categories of competitiveness factors. These countries are being compared. They are economic performance, government efficiency, business efficiency, and infrastructure. Now, in this comparison, Malaysia's competitiveness ranking has dropped 5 positions since last year to 27 this year in 2020. Ranked 27 of 63 countries. This is the lowest for Malaysia in the past 5 years. Today, we are honored to have Tooty sharing this topic with us on gender inequality. Gender inequality is one of the criteria measured under the societal framework, a sub-factor in the government efficiency factor. This topic is important to all of us. It measures non-equal opportunities in participation and representation between male and female in many areas. This is a global issue. Gender inequality is actually gender equality is a human right. Tooty will be sharing with us the highlights and causes of gender inequality in Malaysia. She will then recommend improvements to help Malaysia increase our future ranking. Just would like to make an alert to the audience here that you can type your questions anytime during the presentation. We have a team here from MPC who is coordinating the questions. So if there's any question coming in, I'll be pinged. I can see that. So I can relay the questions to the speaker later. So if you'd like to take full advantage of knowing this topic, do post your questions. We'll try our best to get them answered for you. Now, let me first introduce our speaker. Tooty is an individual with many personas. She is a consultant, trainer, a learner, an evaluator, an auditor, a judge, and many more. Academically, she holds a Master's of Business Administration degree in Strategic Management from the International Islamic University Malaysia, and both a degree and diploma in Statistics from the University of Technology Mara. Tooty started her career as a consultant. Among many public and private sectors she has worked with, she was a consultant for Malaysia Productivity Corporation. Tooty later joined the Malaysian Technology Development Corporation, MTDC, as the Assistant Vice President for Grant Evaluation Units. As a consultant, Tooty trained and consulted on productivity and quality improvement programs, such as the Japanese 5S methodology, Innovative and Creative Circles, ICC, Quality Management System, in the ISO series, 9000, 14,000, and OSHA's 18,000. In addition to training, she engaged in audit activities in 5S certification, grant evaluations for MTC, Malaysian Technology Development Corporation, and the Small and Medium Industries Development Corporation. In ICC convention organized by both public and private sectors, she was a judge. She is now an executive consultant with Ideal Connectors. Now with that, it's my pleasure to pass the audio to Tooty. So I ask that you give your full attention to Tooty. Over to you, Tooty.
Okay, thank you, Lawrence. Thank you for the introduction, and also okay, thank you so much. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all the attendees for this webinar. I'm glad to be part of the speakers for this World Competitiveness Yearbook for this year. So I'm glad to be given also the gender inequality, what I call criteria, in order to give some suggestions or recommendations in order to actually boost or to upgrade our ranking in the WCY. Okay. So as you all know, my name is Tooty Jamaludin. I've been working with government sector for 9 years, and also I have my own company right now. It's just a small firm in order to do training and also consultancy for under whatever subject matter under total quality management. So without further ado, I will straight go to my presentation, which is gender inequality. Okay, it means the men and women have non-equal power or and non-equal opportunities for financial independence, education, and also personal development. This is the definition. I have, okay. All right. So this is the definition of the gender inequality in world competitiveness yearbook perspective. Okay. As you all know, I would like to share with you some of the women's equality issues in Malaysia. It has been, sorry, wait, what's wrong with this? Sorry. Okay. In the year 2018, study by IPPO
One, two, three. They can't hear your voice, I think. One, two, three. I think I cannot hear you. One, two, three. I think we lost your audio. Can you hear us? One, two, three. One, two, three. We cannot hear you.
the concept of leaving no one behind, especially women.
Yeah, now you're back. One, two, three. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, we lost your audio just now. So
okay.
Actually we couldn't hear you. We couldn't hear you ever since the start of this slide. I'm sorry.
Because, now also I cannot hear you actually, Lawrence. But I try. Okay. Anna,
okay.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
yes,
now?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Just now
You want me to start again?
Yes,
you
I
want
think
to
for
start
the sake
again?
of the audience, on this slide, I think for the sake of the audience on this slide, because after you flip, we couldn't hear you anymore. Sorry about that.
Okay, sorry. Can no problem. Okay. So you want me to start here? Is it here?
Yes.
Or which one?
Yes, this slide. Yes. I think before you flip, we already couldn't hear you.
Okay. If I click this one, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
So I start here. Okay. Okay. I repeat it again here. Okay. Can?
After the definition, after definition.
So this one, okay. This is the second slide after definition. Oh,
yes.
All right. Okay.
Thank
you. So sorry for the the unforeseen circumstances. this is a normal thing when you do webinar, I think. Yeah, Lawrence?
Yes, yes. Sometimes, this kind of thing happens. Don't worry, don't worry. Luckily,
Okay.
we can.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
take your
I'm
time.
so sorry. Okay,
Yes,
I tried to
no
do it again.
problem.
Okay, can. I can repeat
Not a
again. Okay.
problem. Not a
All
problem.
right. Okay. Can I continue? Okay. I
Please
continue.
continue.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. As I would say just now, in 2018, there's a study done by Ipsos, a global market research firm headquartered in Paris, revealed some of the top issues faced by the women in Malaysia. As you can see, there's 10 issues that have been listed here. Number one is sexual harassment. As you all know, sexual harassment has been taken into consideration in many major companies uh, to be promoted. Actually, they have to promote these sexual harassment cases, whereby it's always a shame for somebody to be harassed. Actually, all right. That's why it becoming more and more why I say prudence to the majikan or to your employee to the employer to actually promote this issue in order to make sure the woman in at the workplace. I'm not sure whether women only, but I think men also get harassed. I think so. Okay, this harassment is very, very shameful actually. But it has been number one women's equality issues in Malaysia. Sexual violence, as you all know, all the abusive husband or abusive parents, do the sexual violence to the women, especially. Sexualization of women in media, physical violence, balancing work and caring responsibility. This is a workload that especially working mothers have to carry, actually balancing work and carrying responsibilities at home, especially workplace discrimination. I'm not seeing workplace discrimination very clearly at some of the companies, because it has not been portrayed what I call clearly in any of the media, okay. And then gender stereotyping, support for pregnant women and new mothers. This is have been carried out by Malaysian by prolonging the what you call maternity leave from 2 months to 3 months, which is good. Domestic abuse and also lack of women in leadership roles. So some of the women equality issues in Malaysia that have been listed here have been actually put into the formulation of how to calculate gender inequality index. Okay, so we go to the next one. Okay, for the focus under United Nations Development Program, there's three focuses here. There's number one is equal rights and equal contributors, whereby it's centered around human rights, its both development goals and its own critical factor for achieving development, sustainable development. You can see now we are talking about sustainable development. Is under the guiding principle for the 2030 agenda for the development concept of leaving no one behind, especially the woman, And then UNDP also support partners to eliminate gender inequality throughout targeted gender-focused program, and by working to ensure that all development efforts have been taken into consideration, into account the experiences, needs, and contribution of women. And the third one is, I need to change this. Wait, Lawrence. Okay.
Don't worry. Just go ahead. Don't worry.
Yeah. The third one, UNDP also believes that the gender inequality and discriminatory attitudes and practices are whole woman's back must be confronted and eliminated if we are to leave no one behind. Okay. This is very clearly stated that we cannot leave anybody, not even not just women, and also we have to also focus for men who leave behind. Okay. Especially now we are talking about house husband. Yeah, Lawrence, we are talking about house husband nowadays.
I'm hearing you.
You know about that?
Yes, I heard
Because
about that.
I've got 2 to 3 friends actually house husband. So for them it's very, what you call embarrassed. They are very embarrassed. But for me,
No,
it
I
doesn't
think
matter
it's
whoever
equal opportunity.
whoever the breadwinner. Yeah.
We're talking about gender equality over here, so It's nothing wrong.
Yeah. So I think it's okay to be a house husband,
It's even
because
harder to be
actually,
a house husband than to be a working husband in some aspects. So I think they should be proud in some way.
correct. Yeah. I think the house husband should be proud of themselves. Not everybody can do that. It's
Yeah,
about the responsibility. It doesn't matter if you are the breadwinner or you are the caretaker of the house. I think it should be something that we have to highlight it. It's okay to be
yeah.
a house husband. For me, it's okay. So actually, we don't leave
Uh,
them behind.
no, I think
Actually, for mothers,
I heard a comment from a housewife, to the husband.
yeah,
She said,
yeah,
you think working in the office is difficult? Why not you take
yeah,
one day, being a housewife
yeah,
for one day?
yeah,
You see what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Yes.
Correct. It's not easy to be a housewife actually.
No,
Managing a house is much hectic than you working at home, working at the office. Sorry.
it
So
is.
because I'm a working mother, so now I'm having headache because I have to stay at home. So it's a very headache. So it's not that easy. But for me, the house husband should be proud of what they have done. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who
Well,
manage the
hopefully
house.
it's,
It's
it's,
actually the
it's
parents
getting
who manage
better.
the house. It doesn't matter it's the father or the mother. You see? Okay. Okay.
All right,
I
let's
continue.
continue.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So these are the 6 signature solutions actually have been brought up by UNDP, which is the United Nations Development Program. So one of it is you can see here is the women's empowerment and gender inequality. So one of the 6 signature solution is how to actually equally manage the genders. So I think one of it is keeping people out of the poverty, governance of the peaceful, and then clean and affordable energy, and as well as women's empowerment and gender inequality. All right. So this is the from UNDP. Okay. Next is okay. These are the content of my talk. Actually, that is just the introduction of the gender equality that we are talking about just now. Okay. If you can see for the introduction, okay. Malaysia actually experienced a relative large decline with 37th place compared to 2019. In 32nd place is like 5 down, yeah, out of the 63 countries. For me, it's not that bad. I'm not sure about you, Lawrence, but for me, it's not that bad. 27 out of 63. Is it good
Uh,
for you?
I think we
Do you
can
think?
do better. I think we
Can
can
do
do better. Uh,
okay. But because of some of the factors, we are comparatively good, better, especially to Switzerland, Denmark, and Hong Kong, as stated in the statement just now. I think it's quite okay, but as you say, we can be better. But for the MCOs now, I don't think this is the focus right now. So it's
well,
very what
I
you call
think
it?
I think this is a global issue, like I said just now. So it's
Correct.
not only
Ah,
Malaysia. I think
yeah,
many other nations also face the same issue. I think the
correct.
challenge here is not just to get up the rank, but I think to stay at the high rank um, for a sustainable period of time. So I think
Correct,
now I think it's for us to try to improve this situation before we can try to see how to be
correct,
sustainable. Sorry.
correct. You're so correct.
Yeah. Let's
Okay,
continue.
that's right. Okay, so if you can see here, for the gender inequality ranking, we are actually see now in 2020 we are at the 46th place. 46th place out of 60. This is quite bad. Okay, this is bad. However, you can see later on where we state in our formula that have been drawn by the what you call WCY, you can see why actually we are at the 46th place. The criteria measure under social framework, which is the subsector of the government efficiency. Actually, our government have done a tremendous job. It's a tremendous work actually in order to make sure there's no inequality in gender. You see, so far what I've seen in government sectors, there's no such thing as women got lower pay than men, lower position than men. There's no such thing in the government sectors. I think for the private sector also is something like that. I'm not sure as a whole. I think maybe some of the organization would like to opt for male workers, but most of them they need male workers or men workers. Why? Because the nature of the job itself needs a manpower, not the woman's power. You see, because some of the job is a very physical, So that's why if you can see in my another write up, which is the disposable income, actually the highest paid is mining in Malaysia. So mining, for your information, majority, I'm not saying majority is 100%, is a man's world. You see, so all the you need men to do mining, you need men to do oil and gas, especially at the oil rigs. It's not because of we discriminate women and male and female. You see, because the job itself needs a manpower, it's not woman power. That is my opinion. I think so. That's why I said for issue of the gender, it's more on what you call the participation, the maternal rate, as adolescent. So that kind of formula or indicators that have been taken from the formulation, and then you calculate into the gender inequality index. You can see after this, okay? All right, so we go to the next one. Gender inequality actually happened, okay, not even not only in Malaysia but all over the world. Gender discrimination is an unhealthy culture would lead to low human development. Some countries have been long embedded with their social norms where women are not allowed to treat equally with the men. I think not very obvious in Malaysia, but in some, especially Middle East, even until now, women are just allowed to drive. But before this, in Middle East, women are not allowed to drive. You see, that kind of gender discrimination. But I think they have the justification of it. Why women cannot drive? You see, and then the main calculation in measuring gender inequality in some countries is gender inequality index. There are three dimensions. This is what we are talking about, because how we calculate the gender inequality index is based on the three dimension. I will talk about this later. And then even though women are outperformed than men, especially at the tertiary level of education, the employer seems to hire men rather than women. This is what I said just now. Some of the job or tasks or employers need men to do the job. Not they are discriminating women, however they need men to do the job because some of the job are like long hours, outstation, and they need physical, so these are the men's world. I'm not into woman's power, I'm not into men's power, that kind of thing, but this is very common sense in my opinion, because for me I'm not rather working in, like say, mining or oil and gas. I'm not into it because it's tiring, it's long hours, so that kind of thing. So it's not woman's thing, especially for Muslims women. We are actually being what you call secured. We have to be in a good environment in order to be a good mother, a good caretaker. So we are not promoting women to do the hard work. Always men have to do the hard work and become the breadwinner actually. So this kind of issues, actually we can debate it until like 24 hours or 48 hours about this, but it's just my opinion. This is just what I'm seeing now in Malaysia especially, and also in Muslim countries. Okay, so that's why the truth about gender gap. According to Human Development Report 2019, it would take more than 200 years to close the gender gap in economic opportunities. See, 200 years. You don't even live until 60. You don't even live until 40. Nowadays, people are getting younger and younger to die. You see, so I think we can debate about gender gap. You can do all sorts of things to actually close the gap. However, it will take you around 200 years in order to make sure the gap is not too I say gappy, you know, not too wide. Say, this is based on the Human Development Report 2019. Okay, so this is the calculation that we use for gender inequality, what we call as Gender Inequality Index. Okay, it's focused on health access, empowerment, and labor markets. Okay, so these are the dimensions. So if you can see here, the dimension again is health, empowerment, and labor market. The indicators are maternal mortality rate, adolescents birth rate, female and male population with the least secondary education, which is here is form 5 lah. Kalau in Malaysia, if it's in Malaysia, it's form 5 and below. And female and male shares of parliamentary seats. These are all the politician seats. Okay. And lastly, is a female male labor force participation rates. Okay. So the dimension index itself is female reproductive health index, female empowerment index, female labor market index, male empowerment index, and also male labor market index. Okay. And another one is female gender index and also male gender index. So it will equivalent to how you get the gender inequality index. This is how you calculate the GII. Okay, this is the formulation. I'm not going through this formulation. I passed my maths already, so I don't want to go through this. Have you seen this, Lawrence?
No.
Okay.
It looks
so these
complicated.
are the formulas. You see, I'm not going.
I was going to ask you, what are all these? Okay, even though we don't go through the computation, at least can you let us know what it's supposed to tell us?
What the what? I can't hear you. Okay. Sorry.
What this formula are supposed to tell us? What are they telling us?
Is it the formulation? This is how they calculate the GII. So you have to calculate first the female like maternal mortality ratio. This is the death per 100,000 live birth. This one is 205. This is all the calculation. I'm not going through this because this is done by the WCY team, whereby we just have to give them the numbers and then they will do the calculation. Because I'm afraid if we do the calculation, we'll be wrong. Because the formulation is quite meticulous, and it's for me it's quite difficult. Even I did statistics, that is my number thing, but this is not my thing now. So
it's okay,
I'm
but
sure
we are trying to understand, like, for example, is the value higher referring to more inequality?
Wait, where the GII?
So maybe the direction, higher the value, the worse, or the lower the value, the better.
Okay, the higher the value is better. The higher is the value is
the higher the better. Okay.
Yeah,
this one probably can walk us through. Okay.
Okay. I have to go through the indicators first with you. Okay, can I do that first? Okay.
Please do that.
So we have to see actually where's the Malaysian stance on this. Okay, if you can see data source for the UNDP for 2008, Malaysia ranked 57 out of 146 countries with GII, which is 0.27 only. So which is not that good. Okay, so we see here for 2010 to 2018 maternal mortality ratio. Okay, I have to go through this one because this one I will explain to you for in our third explanation after this. You can see here for maternal mortality ratio for Malaysia is 40 deaths per 100,000 live birth. Adolescent rate is 13.4 births per 1,000 women aged 15 to 19. For you, is it the correct age, which is adolescent birth rate? Because for Malays, usually previously we can get married in at 18 or 19 at age, So what do you think, Lawrence? Is it that bad? Because nowadays people are getting worried about not getting married. See, so if you can see adolescent birth rate means you are pregnant during your 15 to 19 years of age.
If you're asking my opinion, well,
is it good or not good, Lawrence? What do you think?
Well, it depends on where I stay. If I look from the law point of view, what is the right age? What is the right age to get pregnant?
Yeah.
For example, if I come from that direction, I would say probably we are not complying, you know, to what has been required. But I do know that for certain ethnic groups, you know, they do practice this kind of thing, you know, arranged marriage and all that. I think in Malaysia, like you said, I see the trend is going the other way. People are getting married later and later.
Yeah. Correct.
So
correct.
These statistics, I'm not sure. Maybe I can get your opinion. Is this statistics going worse or is about the same as before? The 13.4 birth rate per 1,000 women.
Birth rate. Yeah, yeah.
Is this getting worse?
It's okay. In my opinion, the adolescent birth rate for that age, 15 to 19, is usually a wedlock. You see?
I see.
Not the usually
More
it's
like
the wedlock.
Accidents.
Yeah?
It's more like mistakes.
Accidents happen.
It's not something that people are like doing it because of you know, arranged marriage. Okay, I see what you mean now.
No, it's not that. It's not that. You know, that circumstances. It's more of wedlocks. That's what happened here. You know, usually 15, 16, 19, you know, that is not a good age to get married because you just finish your secondary, might be 18 and 19, right? But at 15, you are still in school. You see, you're still in school. How can you cannot get married in school? I think for Malaysia, we cannot get married during your school days, right? You cannot get married there.
The legal age to get married, there's one that's been set. It's not before 18 years old. So this is just a snapshot by the UNDP in 2018. It's just a snapshot. It's just one figure. We do not know the trend. That's why it will be interesting to see the trend.
Yeah, correct. Okay, that's why I said for this GII, even the what you call the indicators or this kind of what you call criteria that you have to include in the formulation. I have lots of questions about it actually. How actually you calculate the GII? What are the justification of it? You know, why you have to put the maternal mortality ratio, adolescents birth rate, share of seats in parliament also is one of the questionable thing. For me, shares of seats in parliament, this is all about interest, you know. Not women or not men are interested to be what we call a politician. So all this, how actually you put in the calculation of the GII as one of the indicator, which is questionable for me again. You know, share of seats in parliament is something that we can debate. You know, one off. Okay, and then yeah.
The definition of gender inequality. Yes, I'm trying to react to your doubt. You have doubt why this is included.
Correct. Can. No problem.
Yeah, I think this is part of the definition that you presented just now. The inequality here does include the inequality in opportunity for male and female, participation as well for male and female. So I think the male and female participation in the parliament is right that they put it in because we need to see, especially in politics, in economics, in power, whether the gender quality in participation as well as in opportunities are the same or not. Yeah. So I think this is fine.
Understand. I understand all the formulation is all about. However, when you are comparing between countries, we are comparing between countries because the what you call the culture between countries also have a difference. Is a huge gap between countries as well. You know, that kind of thing. So if like we see like share of seats in parliament, let's say some of the countries are not allowed women to be a politician. Some of the countries. So maybe in their GII they must be what you call, the calculation must be like very low, you see. So that's why what I'm saying is I'm not against the share of seats of parliament, or I'm not against population or at least of secondary education. No, I'm not against this. It's just my opinion, you know. Some question that couldn't be answered with a right or wrong answer, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, because like you said just now, it's just a matter of opinion in this matter lah, in this gender inequality issues. Okay, so okay, I will move on. Okay, population with at least some secondary education, which is more than 35 years old, is also 79.8% for female and 81.8% for male. So it's not a huge gap between male and female. Okay, and lastly but not least is labor force participation rate for more than 25 years old. Female and male have a huge gap here. If you can see, labor force participation rate for female is only 50%, and for males again is like 77%, which is 27% gap between male and female. Okay, so this is just a calculation that I've got from the report for the GIF for Malaysia. Okay, so these are the key regulators and 5 agencies that involved in this particular ranking that I think, this is just my opinion. Okay, there's 5 agencies involved. For the maternal mortality ratio is definitely the MOH or Ministry of Health. And for female and male population with at least secondary education, of course, the Ministry of Education has have to take into consideration how to boost this what you call calculation for female and male population. And then next one is now for LPPKN, National Population and Family Development Board, for adolescent birth rate. This is what we talked about just now. You know, wedlocks, you know, we talk about early pregnancy or early marriage, you know, this thing must be taken into consideration by National Population and Family Development Board. And next one is Parliament of Malaysia. Of course, we take care of the female and male shares of the parliamentary seats. And last but not least, for Department of Human Resource, we take into consideration the labor market, which is female and male labor force participation rates. So these are the agencies involved in this what you call the indicator or the formula that calculates the ranking for the gender inequality. Okay, there's some laws that relates to women. Okay, if you can see here, the Domestic Violence Act 1994, which is include physical injury, psychological abuse, sexual abuse, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then we also got the discrimination, the amended to the Penal Code in 1989, increased penalty for rape. Okay, this is also an issue. Rape is becoming worse and worse and worse every day. I'm not sure why, but as you see, there's where you see the list just now, the 10 gender issues for women. You can see one of the what you call contributing to rape is not discrimination, but sexualization of women, you know, that kind of thing. A sexy woman, you know, very what you call voluptuous kind of woman seen in television, you know, it's actually increased the mood to rape for the rapist. So this is also one of the laws and discriminate against women that has been reviewed and amended. Okay, so these are the drivers contributing to the ranking. Just to see just now, this is the what you call the whole story about the what you call the formulation. If you can see here, maternal mortality rate, which is the number of maternal death, direct or indirect, in given period per 100,000 women of reproductive age during the same period. Okay, so you can see here it's around what you call 38% worldwide, and 94% of the maternal deaths occurs in low and lower middle income countries. Okay, but for Malaysia, I think more in the lower middle income kind of thing. We actually have been taken into consideration for MOH. They actually have been what you call the readiness in order to make sure all the mothers who give birth, are very well taken care of, in order to make sure there's no fatality over there. All right. So especially the young adolescents, like you just can you see in the television right now, whereby the young adolescents, whereby the young mothers, they throw the baby, they flush off the babies, that kind of thing. It's so it's so frightening actually. They just throw the baby and they at the 14th floor, they throw the baby down there because they are very young. They don't know what to do. They think they're gonna die if they give birth to the baby, that kind of thing. So it's very frightening in terms of young adolescents face the high risk of complication so much. But I think it's more what you call, if you can say for the complication, actually MOH have taken a very good initiative in order to make sure all the pregnant all the what you call not the pregnancy, not to where the young mother give birth, they really take care of them, because they know they are very afraid how to to raise the children, how to face the family, that kind of thing if is out of the wedlock. Okay, and then for Malaysia it's only 40 death per 100,000. So literally it's not that bad, because for me maybe it's indirectly they don't take care of themselves during the pregnancy. They said the baby they smoke, maybe they're also the what we call drug addicts, that kind of thing. So that is also contributed to the 40 death per 100,000. Okay. So next one is adolescent birth rate. This is the annual number of birth to women aged 15 to 19. Just now when I talked to you, Lawrence, it's the age that is not supposed to be pregnant, but however it happens. Okay, so age 15 to 19, and we are allowed to get married. I think 18. I think Lawrence, 18, yeah. Yeah, we are allowed to get married without consent of the parents. Not sure. You're not sure. I think yeah.
If you ask me,
okay,
if
so
it's my own, I'll probably say 21.
Okay. It's a good age to get pregnant, is it?
Because because 18, the kid is not done with the education. The academic years are not over. So even 21, some of them are still studying. So it's probably not the right time to talk about getting pregnant. I'll probably say, get your academic years out of it. Get yourself financially independent before you talk about all this. So I think that's probably part of the reason why people are getting into marriage and probably getting into pregnancy later. So for me, if you want my personal opinion, I think this is still too early.
Yeah, might be. Okay, I'm not having what I call a good opinion about this, but I think 18 is where if you are not furthering your studies, I think 18 is where you work already, because especially in the village kind of, the rural area, usually
maybe
18
some are
is a good age for you there.
Some are already to the
I think
workforce.
it's okay to get married, but not to get pregnant. Is it?
I think the opinion,
at the age of 18 and 19.
you will get.
Yeah.
If you ask 10%, if you ask 10%, I'm sure you're gonna get 20 opinions on this.
Sorry, Lawrence, I can't hear you. Sorry, Lawrence, I can't hear you. Can you repeat again?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No. Okay.
No?
Okay.
Can
Okay, now. Okay.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Now can you hear? Okay. All I'm saying is that
Yes.
It's hard to get a unified opinion on this, because if you ask 10 person, you probably get 20 opinions.
Correct.
Yeah. So
You are
everybody's
correct.
opinion is different. So if
Correct.
I speak from, let's say, a parent point of view, if I were to see them as my own kid, my opinion will be different. Again, I can't put that judgment on everybody. Like you said, some are already independent, some because of family situation, some because of social expectation. They will have to get independent really early. So we can't judge. We can't judge based on the same filter on everybody.
Correct. That's right.
So that's my opinion. But I'm sure your opinion is going to be different across the board.
I think it's not so different with you, but it's still debatable, because it's what you call, it's a human rights thing, it's my thing, it's your thing, it's different people kinds of things, some of it, some of the people would like actually their daughters to get married earlier. Some of the people, oh no, you have to study first, you have to get some money out of it, and then you can get married. That's why for me, this is also, you can put it in the formulation. It's not wrong. However, there's some thing about the what you call age specific fertility rate, because like my daughter, she had her menses at the age of 9. You see, so it's early. So I was like, oh, I'm so worried. You see, because at 9, usually you've got your first menses at like 12, 13, right?
Yeah.
So
I think
what you call the,
we cannot judge across the board. I think some are already earlier than the rest. But I think in general, if you talk about the general population, there's certain risk associated with pregnancy. So if a person is like too young, the risk is higher. During the process of childbirth, there may be complications because physically, mentally, physiologically, the person is not ready. So there's a logic why we don't encourage this kind of adolescence birth rate. I think for that reason. After all, if you talk about male and female, just to follow up with your wedlock example, who is the one in the what do you call a disadvantage over here? It's always the female. So I think what you said today makes sense, because we really have to pay attention to protecting, especially female, adolescents. They should be educated about the risk associated with inequality over here. So sometimes they don't even know that they are being discriminated. Sometimes they do not know that they are being bullied. They think it's normal. Whereas it's not normal at all. So
definitely not normal. Definitely it's abnormal. You see?
So I think
at
a lot of
this age,
education
like
need to
15
go
to
in.
19. Okay. Okay, if you can see at the age of 15 to 19. I would like to continue. Sorry. For that younger 15 to 19, these are the age that actually the parents really protect them, because there's lots of uncertainty in life, especially with their friends, even friends also rape friends, you see. So how you're very afraid. Like me, I have a 19-year-old boy, and then I've got 3 girls, you see. So I always mention to my son, you have to take care of your siblings, whereby your siblings are all girls. So it's a concerning what we call matters for mothers, especially. It's 15 to 90 is a very fragile kind of emotion, fragile kind of what I call feelings. If you can get mad to them, and then they will like rebellious, very rebellious at this age, that kind of thing. There's like some of the wedlocks are actually from the what you call runaways from home. You see, because they are rebellious. They want to show that to the mothers that they can do anything, you know, they can do anything, everything on their own. Somehow or other, that is not the thing. 15 to 19 is the age that you have to take care of them, still to take care of them, because you say just now, it's a school, the education is not finished yet, you know, that kind of thing. It's very concerning to us as a parent, actually. Okay. All right. Next one is these are the thing, the share of seats in parliament. Uh, in Malaysia, 15.8% held by women, which is most of them are very powerful women. What I see, our politicians, especially women in parliament for Malaysia, they are very powerful women, very vocal, and very into it in saving women's, what you call, nasib lah, you know, women's rights or something like that. So we need women in the parliament, of course, but it doesn't matter how many shares of seats in the parliament, however, we need women. That is my opinion, you know. You don't have to say like 50-50, you don't have to say like 40-60, because politics is not everybody's thing. It's not what you call, you have to have a guts and wits to be a politician in Malaysia, especially because it's a man's world again. Politics in Malaysia is a man's world. But however, if the women in the parliament nowadays, what I've seen is they are very strong. They are very strong will. They are very likable by the community. You know, they are very likable with everybody. You know, because they are doing a good job so far. What I've seen. All right. So next one, population with at least some secondary education, which is for the age of 25 years old and above, and it's reached at least, okay. If you can see here, why actually they don't reach the secondary education. Okay, this is number one, is not qualified to further their studies, because some of the, especially in the rural area, education is not the priority. It's more on towards what you call survival. You know, you have to eat. You have to go and get the money for the family, because the father mother couldn't afford it. You know, that kind of thing. That is why the number two comes in, either to make money due to the life necessity. You know, so the secondary education is not in their mind. They just like stop studying or stop schooling, and then go and get some job in order to like take care of the family. And then next one is education is expensive according to them. Why? Because you need to buy books, you need to buy clothes, you need to buy, you know, all things, you know. Even it's actually comparing to other countries, we are actually very cheap in terms of studying, because lots of the what we call equipment or books or are subsidized by the government. You know, we have been given the opportunity to study at the cheap rate. Okay, not in like my friend in Indonesia, if you want to study, your mother have to come and work in Malaysia in order to pay for their education. You see, so very expensive there. All right. And then number four, do not have the urge to display competitive advantage. It's just a matter of, okay, I work today, I work in the morning, I can get I can eat in the evening, you know, kais pagi makan pagi, petang makan petang, that kind of thing. So they don't see like, oh, I need to be somebody, you know, that kind of thing. No, it's not their mind, in their mind actually. And then the next one is no motivation drive by other, especially family members. Some of the parents for the poor family, they say like, you know, no point to go and study, you know, or else our family will be starved, you know, that kind of thing. So there's no motivation and also no future planning. These are one of the potential reasons that I think they don't read the secondary education. All right. Okay, you can see here labor force participation. The labor force participation rate is calculated by the expressing of number of persons in the labor force as a percentage of working age population. Okay, you can see here the size of labor force between male and female is around 27%. I see just now 50% female and 77% males. Why? Because most of the housewife is a female rather than house husband. So I think that's a justification between the what you call percentage between male and female. Because in Malaysia scenario, lots of what you call household caretaker is a female. Most of the male one of the reason why, because the male can afford with a single income. Okay, so they actually would like the wife to stay at home. So this is one of the reason, especially in Malaysia. And another one, maybe one of the what you call types of job that I said just now is a man power. It's not a woman power needed in order to do the task or the jobs. Okay. Okay, so these are the Malaysian involvement internationally. You can see is the general equality, realizing women's rights for the equal future. It's all about women. You see, it's most when we talk about gender equality or gender inequality, it's all about women. It's all about women. Okay, so why? Because like we said just now, women have been seen as what we call weak, very emotional. That's why you are not needed in this kind of job. You are not needed because you always what you call drown in your emotion in doing what you call decision making. You know, men are better in doing decision making. I'm not sure whether men or male or female is better in doing decisions. I think it's more towards what kind of decision. It's not men decision are better than women's decision. What do you think, Lawrence? What do you think about that?
Well, I think women is always right.
Hello, Lawrence,
No,
are you there?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I
Can you
can't
hear
hear
me?
you. I can't hear you.
Can you
It's
hear me?
echoing.
Oh, okay. How about now? Can you hear me?
Sorry, Lawrence, it's
Can you
echoing.
hear me?
I can't hear you. I hear echo.
You hear echo? Oh, that's strange.
Okay, better.
Can you hear me now?
Okay,
Better now?
better.
Okay. I was trying to
Okay,
say,
okay. Steady. Okay,
women is always right.
okay. That one okay. Okay, now okay. Okay, yes.
Oh, you didn't catch what I
Yes,
said.
I heard you.
Women is always right.
That is from the eyes of the husband, you know. Women's always right.
I agree with you. I think the decision-making process is regardless of gender.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, period.
It doesn't matter who makes the decision as long as it's the correct decisions, you know. It doesn't matter. I can make the decision for food. My husband have to make a decision for where to go for vacation. Maybe he can do that kind of thing. So that is everybody's thing, you know. Everybody must make should make a decision, right? At least once in their lifetime.
Yeah, we can decide to disagree, or we can agree to disagree.
Correct. Correct. You're correct.
So decision can be done together, joint.
It doesn't matter if your decision is incorrect. Also, you can actually what you call tailored, not tailored. You can adjust it, you know, to make sure it's correct. So there's no right or wrong in doing decision. You see, you sometimes you make a bad decision. Of course, that's why the phase of bad decision is there. You know, you have to make decision. Maybe it's a bad decision, but it doesn't matter as long as it's settled things. I think should be okay. You see, that kind of thing, right? So these are the things that we talk about. Convention on elimination of discrimination against women. There's a convention on it. You know, discrimination against women. I think in Malaysia there is not so much in discrimination against women. I'm not saying it. I'm not seeing it. What I call right in front of my eyes. No, I don't see it. You know. And then Convention of Rights of Child. This is good. This is actually to protect the children. Okay. And then Beijing Declaration of Plan Action, NDP Sustainable Development Goals. These are the things that we are promoting now. There's 17 goals to transform our world. And then Movement of Putrajaya Declaration. So these are the conventions that Malaysians have been involvedly active in at the international level. Okay. So the other drivers is government form a special task include working group for the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development, and then also Foreign Ministry, Malaysian Islamic Development Department. So to enact the Gender Equality Bill 2017, we've got this already. And then we have the Women Consultative and Advisory Council. This is the main function to take actions, plan on women in developing along with the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development. Also advise the government in issues related to women. So this is all the things that Malaysia have done, and it has been done tremendous what you call jobs by the especially Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development. Okay, so these are my recommendation. This is merely my recommendation and plus some of the readings that I did. Okay, these are number one. You can see how to improve maternal mortality ratio. I don't want to go through all, but I will highlight some of the important recommendation. Okay, if you can see, nowadays we actually have the care visit. The antenatal care visit actually is there already. Okay, however, the skilled health worker is an issue because we have actually a problem with the skilled health worker. We've got lots of worker, but skilled one means kalau in rural area we've got bidan kampung. You heard of bidan kampung, Lawrence? You know? Bidan kampung?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm sorry.
No, you don't know
yet.
bidan kampung? Okay, sorry. Bidan kampung,
Well,
yes, actually
probably
like
because I've been spending time abroad. That's why.
I see. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go
So
ahead.
we've
I
got
think
like
the audience probably will know more.
no more what?
I think the audience will probably know more about it. So they probably can relate.
I think they know.
Yes.
They know the
Yes,
bidan kampung. Actually, like what we call bidan is apa ya kalau bahasa Malaysia, bahasa Inggeris je. Bidan kampung ni means like apa we call. Oh ya Allah ya Tuhan.
Bidan
is the person who actually give birth to your to take care of the pregnant woman to give birth, you know, but in the kampung.
Okay, like midwife.
They actually like a doctor, but
yes,
you know
I'm
that?
aware of it. Yes.
See, so actually they are good, but they are not trained, or they are not. It's not trained. They don't have the cert to do that. You see? They can, you know, they can deliver your child, all that, but they don't have the what we call paper
the knowledge,
paper recognition.
the
They
skill.
don't have that. Yeah, correct. But they are good. They are damn good. They are much better than some of the nurses or some of the doctors. You see, because there is inheritance. Usually, the what we call bidan kampung is inherited from their grandmas to the mothers and then to them. You know, they have been around pregnant women. You know, they have been taken care of the pregnant woman, all that since during the pregnancy until they give birth. You know, this kind of thing. You know, but now if anything happen, when the bidan kampung take care of your during your childbirth, if anything happen, you can sue the bidan kampung, which is not good. You see. You get what I mean? Because they don't have the cert to do it. That's why if you can see here, actually in rural area, we've got a facility. We don't actually have. You can go through to my second recommendation to increase and improve health facilities to provide basic emergency. What you call ONG, antibiotics, ultrasonic drugs, or all this. They don't have this. They cannot do the cesarean there, you know. They have to go and send it to the hospitals nearby. But you have to remember, some of the rural area, their hospitals nearby maybe like 30 kilometers, maybe like 50 kilometers. So this is one of you know, the difficulties faced by the rural area mothers, you know, because they don't have the cesarean section or blood transfusion at the clinic kesihatan negeri or daerah. You see, in a small clinic, there's no such thing as cesarean. You cannot do cesarean there, you know, because some of the mothers cannot deliver what you call a normal delivery, you know. You have to do cesarean. But some of the clinics in, not some, I think most of the clinic in negeri or daerah, especially daerah, which is district, we call clinics, they don't have that facilities. So for me, you have to improve these health facilities in all clinic negeri and also clinic kesihatan daerah. You have to have that. Okay, and then the next one is to educate it on family planning. This is a basic education whereby you can get married. Just now I just said to you 18, 19, yes, you can get married, but not to get pregnant for the time being, as because let's say you're too young to have a baby, because you are a baby yourself, you see. So it's good to have the family planning. What I mean is, if you get married at the age of, let's say, 16, 17, 18, 19, this, what you call FPPKN or Ministry of Health, there's a counselor that actually talks to them. You know, you can get married, it's okay to get married, but you have to plan your pregnancy until your economic is stable, your emotion is stable, your husband and wife relationship is stable, and then you can get pregnant, something like that. This is just my opinion. Okay, all right. So the next one, how to reduce adolescent birth rate. So this is the statewide task, what I call as sex education. Yeah, we actually have been what you call suggesting for sex education in the public schools and statewide media campaigns, which managed by Ministry of Education and Ministry of Health. But until now, have you seen somewhere in Malaysia talking about sex education in public schools? Lawrence, have you seen that? Have you come across sex education anywhere in Malaysia?
I have not spent much time in Malaysia. That's why I can't really tell you. But I can tell you about Singapore, though. I can tell you about Singapore. In Singapore,
can you share with us?
What do you call it? Yes, the sex education in Singapore, the awareness starts very early. So the first year in secondary school, the children will have to go through this kind of thing. Sometimes in the upper senior primary school level, the school will get consent from the parents to send the kids for this kind of awareness classes. So the kids are very much aware of this. So it's a common thing. In Malaysia, I want to ask you, so apparently there's no or there's few of this kind of awareness classes?
I see. Because if you see, in Malaysia, the word sex is a taboo.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that word. It's what you do.
Yeah, okay. Actually, sex itself is not wrong, but it's a taboo. I say, some people were like, what? You know, what are you saying? That kind of thing. So for me, in Malaysia, we have been proposing and also recommending sex education to be one of the syllabus, you know, one of a special syllabus. Like you said just now, maybe we need a parent's consent, you know, in order for them to receive this kind of education. Because there's pro and contra when having this sex education. Because on the what you call positive sides, they know what is sex is all about. They know the outcome of sex, unsafe sex, or that kind of thing. But for the negative sides, it's like promoting sex. You see?
Well, the Singapore side, I agree with you. I think the Singapore side, they don't just do one time. They do it every year. So let's say, for example, you are a Singaporean. You will be contacted, let's say this year, to get consent for your kid to go to attend maybe a few hours of sex education awareness. And in the following year, you will get this again. So you're like wondering, hey, I thought my kid already attended last year. They say, no, we're having it like a regular awareness. So we have this in stages, because even though your kid has been exposed to this kind of awareness education, but because as they grow, their physiology, their mental maturity is different. So even though they receive the same kind of education awareness, they take in differently.
Correct. Yeah.
So even though
And the
like we talk
environment
about
around that also might be changing, right?
yes, it is.
So
Even
that's
in
why.
Singapore, the adolescents, what do you call adolescents are actually pairing up, like boyfriend, girlfriend. There are a lot of cases like that, but they know the risk
Yeah.
because they are being told.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. That's why. In Malaysia so far, it's up to the parents how open, how open-minded is the parents talking about sex education. It's depend on, like I say, sex education is a taboo in Malaysia so far because we are not we don't manage to what we call take it to the another level. Maybe we talk about the sex education part of the science class, but not a special kind of subject matter, not yet. I don't think we
Mm.
have that sex education as one of the syllabus or special syllabus, not yet for the
I'm
time being. So
surprised
I
we
think
don't have it.
there's
I thought we already have that.
what I don't think so because I've got like four not teenagers. I've got four children. Not one of them talking about sex education to me because where if they are being taught in school, they must ask me. They are very friendly with me. They're like friends. Usually they talk about this with me. But so far I don't think we have a special sex education class. No, I don't think so. Maybe
Okay.
reproductive or reproduction of they've got, but not sex
Mm.
education for the time being.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I would like to continue. If we can see the holistic program that I've listed here on teen pregnancy prevention program, such as media campaign through sponsorship program, and then family planning services for teens. That like I said just now, you can get married but not to get pregnant as soon as you get married. Maybe like you said just now, it comes with the age. The stability, emotion, your physical changes, all that. If you are ready, and then you can get married. And then STD education in public school, HIV education in public school, and also to enact pregnancy prevention program. These are all just what we call I've gathered all these what we call program all over when I do my readings. Okay. All right, so this one is how to English share of series of parliament. Okay, these are several recommendations that I would like to share with you to include political science studies as one of the syllabus in pendidikan civic and kewarganegaraan. So we've got this previously in secondary education, but there's specific syllabus how to be a politician, what are the good politician, what are the criteria of a good politician, that kind of thing. There's no specific syllabus for this. And then to increase women quota seat in parliament, this is just a recommendation. I think, do we have quotas? I'm not sure, but I think there's no quota set whether women can be in the parliament with like 50-50. I don't think we have that kind of quota. Okay, but I just said here to increase women quotas. Okay, by addressing women agenda and advantages by my motto is by women, for women, through women. So any woman matters, any woman agencies, any woman related issues must be taken care by women politicians. And then to provide special financial aids for women candidates. Let's say I'm a candidate for what you call ADUN or parliamentary seats. So I need to have a safe and secure environment during campaign. You see, because I need to leave my house to do campaign. I have to leave my children to the not let's say if my husband is working, so I cannot leave it to him because he's not a house husband. But I need some incentive or what we call a safe and secure environment during my campaign, to take care of the household responsibilities. So these are just some financial aids that I would like for the women in parliament, or we call Parliament of Malaysia, to think about it. Okay. And then how to increase percentage of population ages 35 and older that reach at least secondary level. Okay, this is what I would like to suggest. to change the secondary education environment from school to ready-to-work environment. Nowadays, what we see is primary and secondary is just theory. It's just a theory. For me, primary is okay to do the theory. You know, you need to know how to read, how to calculate, how to membaca, mengira, apa lagi satu membaca, mengira dan menulis. That is the focus for primary. But for the secondary, I think for Form 4 and Form 5 students, you have to expose them to the work culture and environment. You know, this is where you actually promote to them, okay, this is how, if you want to do the interview, if you want to answer the interview, this is how the work culture is all about, these are the environment, you know, when you work, just to get them ready for work at the age of 18 and above. Because Form 5 is 17, so 18 to some of the in the rural areas, especially just I said just now, they are very unfortunate. They cannot actually further their studies, so they have to work. However, they don't have the exposure regarding the work culture environment. So I think you have to put what you call ready to work environment in the Form 5, Form 4 and Form 5 what you call syllabus. Okay, and then to allow the population which is not complete their secondary level education to sit the exam such as SPM, which is Form 5, okay, with a simpler method or evaluation of their competencies. You know, let's say some of the student stop schooling at the age of 15, and then at the age of 18 or 19, they wanted to work in a better environment to get a better job, so they need to take the SPM, which is CJ Pelajaran Malaysia, that you have to take at the age of 17, which is Form 5. But for them who actually do not complete their secondary level education, you have to make sure their evaluation is much simpler, not as like written papers, written examinations, something like that. It's more like technical, it's more on hands-on, it's more on the on-job kind of evaluation, okay, for their competencies, okay. And then the lastly is to promote night class. Night class means like a tuition, but for the old student kind of tuition, you know, concept for this population to acquire secondary education knowledge and information for which is vital for them to improve their working skill. So actually we have this previously, I think like 20 years ago, we've got the night class, or we call as kelas malam, for all students, okay, in order for them to take the SPM. Because the SPM is everything in Malaysia. If you don't have SPM, you cannot actually get a good job. It's not easy for you to get a good job with a qualification. You have to start with SPM, you know. Then you can get easier. You can get into your job easier. Okay, all right. So next one, okay, how about the labor market? How to increase labor force participation rate to inculcate work from home? Okay, nowadays we are talking about work from home. We have been forced to work from home due to the COVID-19. Okay, what we see is it works. Actually, working at home, it works. Actually, especially to the career mother, in order to increase numbers of working women, is a higher competency and capability in contributing to the company objective, despite leaving their home and responsibility. See, for the working mothers, for all working mothers, I would like to promote work from home. You see, you can actually contribute. You still can contribute to the company objective, you know, but without leaving your home and responsibilities. This actually can definitely cut your cost, cut your headache, to, you know, go through the jam every day, and then and it has been proven it works. You can work from home, but you still manage to get your productivity level high. You see, and then thus the working woman must work from the office. Okay, if you have to go to the office, the household financial aid should be given to them, okay, in order to compensate their household responsibilities. Means you can give them like financial aid, subsidies for maid, childcare, even parent care. Because like myself, I take care of my mother. So I cannot simply go and outstation because I have to leave my mother. If I have to go, what we call outstation, or I have to go to the office, there's some kind of subsidies to take care of my parents, such as, private nurse, maybe private caretaker, maybe private maid to take care of the parents. These are the subsidies you have to think about when you have to make sure the working mothers must be in the office. Okay. And then for B40 categories, which is B40, which is the low income categories, they should be given more facilities, to encourage them to work in the more mind-free environment. Let's say, worry-free. Yeah, they don't have to, think about accommodation, transportation, as well as their what you call household uh, environment. This time you have to give more facilities. But some of the factories, they have been doing this. Okay, they provided what you call hostels, even transportation, even free meals, to them. So whatever that they get as a salary, it becomes 100% theirs. So they don't have to what you call spend for the accommodation, transportation, and as well as other things. Okay. Okay, so promoting empower and religion compliances for Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development should strengthen their cooperation with NGOs in tackling any gender issues and promoting women empowerment in Malaysia. Okay, but not to forget that it's important to comply with the Islamic concept in advancing gender inequalities in Malaysia. So this is just my what you call footnotes. We need to think about like us for Muslim community. Even there's gender issues here, but for us it's more towards some what would say, if I'm outstation, I need to get the consent from my husband. I cannot just simply go. You see, I cannot just simply obey my employer. I have to get consent from my husband's side. If they don't allow me to go, I can't go. That kind of thing. Okay, I'm not saying for everybody, but most of us in Muslim community, the consent of the husband to work and also to go outstation and to do anything outside of the house must be consented by our husband. Okay, right. Okay, in a nutshell, recommendation will be only be recommendation if we don't take it seriously by the authorities in making sure that gender inequality doesn't have to be an issue at all in our country. Because I believe in human capabilities, intelligence, strong will, which and as well as working hard. That will always be the critical success factor to excel in life, but not gender. So this is my conclusion for my presentation. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you have any question, please do so. And then I give back this session to Mr. Lawrence Scott. Please continue, Lawrence.
Thank you, Tooty, for the very enlightening talk. I think this is unlike any other talks that we have held. Probably is causing some audience to feel prudish, squirmish, uneasy. We even talk about the word sex over here in the webinar, so maybe that's going to stir some interest among the audience.
Sorry if you are not comfortable, but I think I have to say it.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just thinking on behalf of the audience. What are they thinking right now?
Yeah. But yeah. I'm so sorry.
I think this is a very important topic that we should talk about. Just want to clarify based on your sharing on the issues in the gender inequality. I think you showed the survey just now in the beginning, done by I think IPSOS in Paris. You also talk about many issues in the inequality areas. Out of so many areas, what, according to your research, what is the biggest area of inequality issues in Malaysia? Are you talking about the adolescents' birth rate, harassment? What is the biggest issue here? because there are so many. You have shared so many issues. What are the top ones?
Are you referring to the 10, the listed 10, is it? Or are you referring to the drivers?
To Malaysia, or I just want to find out. Maybe the audience is interested to know as well. Out of so many issues in Malaysia, which is the biggest issue? Is it women's participation in politics? Is it opportunities in employment?
No, for me, adolescent birth rate is very concerning. It's very threatening right now, because out of wedlock is very serious matters now, because I've been involving with Ministry of Women for 14 years. So these are the things that they're always talking about, adolescents birth rate, because now out of wedlock is becoming something very normal, which is not normal in our community, you see. So it's very threatening to the parents, very threatening to the what we call Kementerian Pembangunan Wanita, which is the Ministry of Women, because for them they have to settle this. If you know the baby hatch, the baby hatch, when you give birth out of wedlocks and you want to give away your baby, you put in the baby hatch.
Okay.
You know that?
Okay. Yes, I heard
it's
of
like
that.
a mailbox. It's like a mailbox. You see, you can put your baby there. You see?
I saw that. I
It's
saw that
actually
in the news.
Yeah. You've seen that, right? It's not only in Malaysia but all over the world.
Yes.
Yeah. It's actually it's there in Malaysia. We have that. You can throw your baby. It's like throwing your baby in the dustbin. It's very threatening.
The connotation there is like it's disgusted for people because think about to like dispose, like something you do not want.
Yeah, you're disposing. Yeah, you're disposing your baby.
I can understand the emotion there. So is this top issue?
Yeah, it's that.
Based on statistics, or it's based on what you feel? Emotionally, I think it stirs.
No, it's based on the statistic. I don't get the numbers, but when we get discussing with the Ministry of Women, these are the things that they are always talking about. They are always talking about mothers throwing out their babies. You see, and lots of them are situated at the rumah kanak-kanak. We've got the children's house, whereby we don't know who's the mother and father. And we got sadly, not sadly, in the good bright side, all the babies are taken as adopted babies, and it has been a long list of parents who doesn't have babies or doesn't have children, waiting for the baby to be thrown out. You see, this is the case now. This is very threatening. Yeah.
It is.
This
very threatening.
It happens. Yeah?
Yes, you're right. I'm reading the questions from the audience. There's one individual, I think it's Hanisa Muhammad Ramli. Hanisa has commented that in Malaysia we do have sexual education in public school. So I think that clears our doubts. Hanisa says, not education on how to make it. This is funny. More towards protection on sexual organs. I think this is in line with what we talked about. Raising awareness in the risk of individuals, especially adolescents who thinking about experimenting with this, but not knowing what the risks are. So yes, I think we do have them based on what this comment says.
Only some it's not what I call it's not a specific syllabus. I'm not saying you have to tell them how to do it, but how to prevent it is not just using protective
I think it's consequences,
that kind of thing.
the risk associated with it, and perhaps what are the smart things to do avoid
Correct.
how to protect,
That's what I'm saying.
especially female, how to protect oneself.
Yes.
Probably not
Correct.
knowing what the
That is
consequence
what
will
I'm
be.
saying. The sex
Sometimes
education
people are
should be,
blinded. Yeah.
it's not just, preventing how, not that. It's just, that is just a small part of it, but like you said just now, how to take care of yourself, how to be friends with the good friends, how to find good friends, how to be friends with male or other opposite gender, that kind of thing. Until the risk, if you get pregnant, what are the risks? You have to tell them these are the bad things will happen to you if you have this kind of thing, that kind of thing. That is the whole part of the sex education that I'm talking about. Not just a small part, using what, avoid HIV. That is a very common thing or general thing, that is also have been thrown through the media, through into the, that kind of thing. So it's just a small part, but the wholesome, you don't get that, the wholesome thing about the sex education in Malaysia. There's no a complete set. I think that is the thing that I said, special syllabus, like to get consent from the parents, that kind of thing lah. Like in Singapore, we can actually benchmark how Singapore does it.
I think not only in Singapore, I think it also happens in other nearby countries. It's just like what you said. Sometimes we don't hear it. Just like you don't get to discuss it with kids. Perhaps kids, they are not comfortable in talking about this topic.
Correct.
So sometimes when we don't hear it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. So sometimes our personal encounter can be quite misleading. It's probably worse than what we think because we're in a more protected environment. Like what you say, in rural areas, sometimes the environment is not that well compared to what we have. So things can be quite real. Hanisa also has a question. What are the percentage of women holding top position in Malaysia? Do you have these statistics? What are the percentage of
14%.
Women?
14%.
Top positions.
Yeah, 14%. Yes. Position for women. Women in Parliament, we've got 14%. Because there's one paper, Women in Parliament, written by Puan Manzalina, and then she do the calculation, and she did the calculation is 14%.
I think this is skewed towards Parliament. Also something that we measure in the competitiveness. I think top position here could be, if I read it on another level, it can be top positions in perhaps in the private sector, in enterprises, how women can be also holding the senior leadership positions or management positions. It can be outside politics. Perhaps you probably don't have statistics on this.
No,
that's okay.
I don't have the statistic on that. No.
That's okay.
For the female, but what I know is, into my knowledge is, most of the top what you call GLCs or big company, not MNC, but GLCs, government-linked company, majority of it, the top level are women, are female. Even the CEO, COO, is woman.
Okay.
So it's woman. Like Plus, the boss is woman. Prasarana also woman. Famaniaga is also woman. She just retired. It's a big company. It's JLC company. Most of the top management, or we call the thinker, or the what we call the think tank, are women. Most of them. There's no issue in about discriminating female and female hold a good position, because lots of women are now holding a good position in Malaysia, a good high position. So
perhaps in
I don't see it very, very, it's very clear there. So there's no discrimination actually. You can be a good CEO, even you are a female. Okay? So for me, there's no.
In that regards, probably the issue is not that obvious. But if we move out, look at the global issue. You know, not just Malaysia. We look at the global issue in gender inequality. The top three issues in the gender inequality area globally points to employers, you know, in the private sectors, I think as well, private sectors or in some cases public sectors, employers not doing enough to close the gender salary gap, right? As well as not helping women to combine work and caring responsibilities. So we're probably not just looking at the top level being, you know, female, but also the general population of the employees in the enterprises. How do the employers help, like for example, closing the salary gap, help balance their work and life? Because most of the females, they carry the caring at home as well. And the issue is that the employers are not promoting the female employees to top positions. So those who are already there, that's fine. But there are so many who are still in the workforce. Globally, these can be issues too. So I'm just trying to see if Malaysia, we do have this kind of thing, because top position is one thing. More the bulk of the female working groups are still on the ground. So I think the global issues here probably applies to Malaysia too.
Because what you said just now, Lawrence, actually I have been discussing it in my second paper, the disposable income. I've been talking about I've been talking about that in my second paper. I've been rigorously discussing about it. Yeah.
I see.
That's an issue about not standard salary between male and female, that kind of thing. Yeah, I put in my second paper.
Okay. Because that also points to inequality. Closing
definitely.
the gap, helping them to be more balanced in terms of being a mother, being a worker, and then promote them senior positions. So I think then we'll stay tuned with the second topic.
Correct. I've actually that paper is more like what we call more not discriminate, but I explain why this happened actually. That's in my second paper.
All right. That's good. Well, thank you, Puan Tooty, for this lively sharing.
Welcome so much. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you to you too and MTC.
We're coming to the end to the sharing. Do you have any last message to the audience today?
Stay safe, stay at home. Okay. I've not been staying at home because I have lots of things to do outside, but I'm trying to stay at home. And so do you. Please stay at home, because we need to fight this COVID-19. It's very scaring, and every day is the numbers are getting up. It's getting higher and higher. The death rate also getting worse and worse. So hopefully everybody stay safe, and I pray for the COVID-19 will be gone in the near future, inshallah. Okay. Thank you so much, Lawrence, for your cooperation in answering my question during the presentation, because I usually do two-way communication during my training, so this webinar is very uncomfortable to me because I have to talk alone. That's why I need you to actually communicate with me during the presentation.
You are not alone.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Sometimes you don't see the audience, but they are there. Thank you. Thank you again, MPP. We'll stay tuned.
Thank you so much, MPP as well.
To your next webinar. So to the audience, let me thank the audience as well, who has dialed in to this webinar, and thank you for contributing to your questions. For the audience who wants to also look at the other videos, please subscribe to the MPC competitive channel. It's called Productivity and Competitiveness channel. There are a lot of videos over there. Please subscribe and watch the other topics by other speakers. So again, we hope you find this webinar helpful. Until then, stay tuned to our next webinar. Happy learning, stay safe, and goodbye. Thank you, Pak Tooty.
Okay, goodbye.
Let's sign off now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Assalamualaikum. Bye.
Assalamualaikum. Bye.